Welcome everybody. Coach Luis here, health fitness specialist with Exos at Autodesk. Final live stretch break of the week. We're about to get into it here, but before we do, I want you guys to go ahead and drop anything in the chat that you feel needs a little bit extra love, an area that was maybe feeling tight after exercise with the Exos earlier. I know my whole backside was feeling turned on, to say the least. So we will be getting into some spine stuff, some upper body, then some lower body. If you guys have anything specific, I would love to hear it, would love to work something in for you. So put that in the chat. If you have something, I'll keep my eye on the chat as we go through this session if you guys get inspired. I'm not seeing anything there currently. So, oh, wait. Spine stuff is perfect. Perfect. All right, cool. Yeah, those Supermans earlier. Woo. All right. What we're going to start with is some spine stuff. So let's come down to the ground. Let's find a nice hands and knees position. And we're going to go ahead and just reset that spine. Because even if you weren't at exercise with Exos earlier today, if you've been sitting or even just standing while working, chances are that spine needs some movement. This is going to help us feel a little better here. So hands are planted on the shoulders, knees are planted under the hips. From here, we're just going to do some cat camel, some cat cow. So let's start by hanging the head, letting it just relax down towards the ground. We're going to point the tailbone down towards the ground, push away from that ground, and let our backs round up, kind of like a big hill. So take a moment, take a breath in this position as soon as you've reached kind of the comfortable end range there. And then we're going to slowly start to switch. So that's bringing the head up, bringing the tailbone up to point towards the ceiling. We're creating a big valley out of our back, trying to extend as much as we comfortably can. And the key word there is comfortable. Taking a breath two here might feel a little bit different. Do the best you can. Then we can slowly start to switch back and forth in between these two positions. So taking it slow, pointing the tailbone down now, back is up, head is just hanging relaxed. We're pushing away from the ground as much as possible. And then we can slowly move into head up, tailbone up, valley in that back. Breathing is key here. If you guys are feeling comfortable, you can go ahead and start to move at a different pace. Maybe it's slightly faster, maybe even it's a little bit slower. We don't want to get too fast here. We're just trying to fluidly move that spine. Bend it back and forth, help some of those vertebrae and discs come back to comfortable spots, the middle spots that we are the most comfortable in here. All right, we're gonna do one more each way. So let's make one big valley, one more big mountain out of our backs. Complete with the breathing, of course. Good, and we can slowly bring ourselves back to the middle. Good job, you guys. That's where we're gonna end with that spine work here to start. Okay, next up, we can do this in either tall, kneeling, or standing, but I'm gonna stand all the way up, come all the way up to my feet. We're gonna open up that chest a little bit. Get those shoulders kind of moving back and away as we sit and slouch all day. Those shoulders tend to kind of come forward towards each other here in the front, away from each other on the back, and we want to do the opposite of that. So let's plant our feet about shoulder width apart. We're going to take those hands, interlace those fingers behind the back, act like we're holding a heavy kettlebell or dumbbell. Those hands are going to drop down towards the ground. So our arms are going to straighten out. Shoulder blades are going to come together back there, which is going to really open up our chest. Now, check in with yourself. Let's make sure that those hips are under us. Core has a little bit of tension. It's not super tight. And then we can just really breathe into that chest. We're opening up that chest. Good job, you guys. Do the best you can to inflate that chest with as much air as possible. One of my favorite feelings is when we can, put some tissue on stretch and then have our breathing be kind of what takes us to that next level of tension. And as we exhale, the relaxation, really just loosening up that tissue, getting it to give just a little bit more. Let's do a couple more breaths. Last one. Good. And after that, we can slowly let those hands come apart back there. Give those arms a little shake. Good job. All right, we're going to stay in standing for this next one. We're going to take care of the back of those shoulders. So with the feet, once again, planted about shoulder width apart, I'm going to take my right arm, reach across my body here out front, and the left arm is going to come out and around. This right arm kind of hugging it in close to my chest here. Now I'm pulling my arm kind of in towards my chest, but also kind of towards my fingers out here because we're looking to get a little bit of a stretch in the back of that shoulder. With a deep breath on that exhale, we can kind of let our shoulders come away from the ears a little bit. If you're not feeling as much tension as you'd like, take that right shoulder blade, the one that we're pulling on right now a little bit, and try and move it back towards the spine. So us now kind of pulling from both ends of the tissue might give us a little bit more tension. Again, we're not looking for crazy amounts of tension. We're just looking for a little bit so that when we breathe, that tissue can really kind of melt on the exhale. So let's continue our breathing. Good job, you guys. We're taking it nice and slow here. Good. All right, let's release that right arm nice and slow. Bring it down. Shake it out a little bit if you need. We're gonna do the same thing other side. So that left arm is gonna reach across the body here. Right arm's gonna come to the outside. We're trying to hook that elbow, pull that arm in close to the chest. Our first deep breath is gonna get both our shoulders away from the ears. And then from here, we can again pull that left shoulder blade back just a little bit if we're not feeling as much tension as we'd like to in the back of that shoulder. Let's breathe nice and deep though into that rib cage, whole rib cage inflating on that inhale. Well done, you guys. Let's do one more big breath here. And after that exhale, we can slowly let that left arm down. Give it a little bit of a shake if we need to, but back of the shoulders hopefully feeling a little bit better than when we started this session. All right, next couple of things, we're gonna be down on the ground. So next thing, we're gonna be in a half kneeling position. So if you guys need to grab a pad or a pillow or fold that mat up, whatever surface that you're on, we wanna make sure that this contact between our knees and the ground is comfortable. All right, so I'm starting with my left knee down on the ground here. Got a little too overzealous with that camera angle. Here we go. All right, left knee down on the ground here. Right foot out in front to support. We're gonna start by squeezing that left glute. So whatever knee you have down on the ground, we're squeezing that side glute. So get that really hard squeeze going first. We'll pull the belly button in towards the spine a little bit here. And then we can start to push those hips forward, maintaining that really tough glute squeeze. I know it can be hard to do sometimes. It helps me to kind of give my glute a little bit of a tap sometimes. Muscles often react and the nervous system often reacts good to that or well to that. But let's keep that tension going as we breathe into the front of that hip. Good work, everybody. Good work. One more big breath. Nice. After that exhale, we can shift our weight back, relax everything around the hip there. Good job. Let's switch it over to the other side. You guys may have noticed that when I brought my hips forward, the torso kind of came with it a little bit. I'm kind of leaning over that front leg. And that's because when we push those hips forward, we don't want to stay super upright, kind of will crunch the spine a little bit. A lot of stuff coming through the lower spine that we don't want there. So while we keep the core tight, keeping that angle between the top and the bottom of our stretch here is important, going to help that spine feel good over time. All right, let's do the same thing other side. Big glute squeeze on that right. Belly button's in towards the spine. We can start to push those hips forward. Slight lean over that front leg, just keeping that spine neutral. And now we breathe. We're trying to breathe right into that tension in front of the hip here. Give that glute a little bit of a tap. Make sure it's engaged. Big hard squeeze this whole time. Let's do one more breath. Good. All right, now we can shift that weight back. Good job, you guys. Good job. Okay, final thing that we're going to do today, we got some time. We're just going to do a quick pigeon pose. So in a plank position, hands under the shoulders. We're up on the toes as well. Let's go ahead and drive that left knee forward. Core is tight. We're bringing it kind of up towards the chest. We can make contact with the ground with that left knee. We're going to rotate that leg, trying to make our lower leg kind of as perpendicular, as horizontal to us as we can. Let's sink back into that hip. And you guys can feel free to come down to the elbows if that's comfortable for you, but we're sinking back into the hip, kind of getting a nice external rotation stretch here. Really good for the back of our hips and the low back. So once you find a comfortable spot, let's breathe in that tension. Make some adjustments if you need to. It's okay if that lower leg is not perfectly perpendicular to the rest of your body. All right, you guys. So if you were on your elbows, let's come up to those hands. We're going to reset. Let's find that good plank position. Once again, we'll pull that left leg back. We're going to do the same thing with the right. Drive that knee forward, core is tight. We can make contact with the ground here, and then we'll rotate, lower leg coming as perpendicular to our bodies as we can manage, as what's comfortable. And then we can just hang out either on the hands or the elbows, breathing into the back of that right hip. Good. Each breath getting a little bit better here. Well done, you guys. Well done. Focus on that breath. Keep it going. Got one more. Well done, everybody. Well done. Okay. We can start to kind of come up out of that position by finding the hands under the shoulders once again, bringing that back leg into kind of a supported position, bring ourselves back into that plank. Feel free to kind of inchworm yourself up or push yourself in a downward dog, whatever is most comfortable for you, but that's going to be all the time I have left for this session. Thanks for sticking with me there, guys. As always, Coach Luis signing off. I will see you guys in the next class, which happens to be abs and core / mobility with Brittany at 4:30. So be sure to not miss out on that. Going to be a nice burn before we get into the end of our weeks. Hope everyone has a great rest of your day. I will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
See you, Brittany.